Okay, ready for book number 6, Samson and Delilah. Samson was a real strong man, but he had a real hard life. You ready? Let's turn. For 40 years the children of Israel were ruled by the Philistines, their enemies. During this time an angel of God appeared to Manoah, an Israelite man, and told him that he was going to have a son. This son would deliver the Israelites from the Philistines. He was to be brought up as a Nazirite, set apart to serve God. As a sign that his life belonged to God, he should never have his hair cut, nor his beard shaved. Manoah's son was born, and was called Samson. Turn. When Samson was a young man, he wanted to marry a girl from the Philistines, the enemies of Israel. He persuaded his parents to go to Timnath, where she lived, to ask for the girl for his wife. Now, Grandma underlined on the map in the back, it's Timnah, underlined it with red so you can find it there. On the way there, Samson heard a lion in a vineyard roaring at him. Samson was so strong, he killed the lion with his bare hands. And there you can see him doing it. Turn. The wedding was arranged, and when Samson was returning to Timnath for the feast, he went to see what had happened to the dead lion. A swarm of bees had settled in the lion's body. Samson took some of the honey they had made. Turn. The wedding feast lasted for 7 days. Samson told a riddle to the young Philistine men there. He said, "If you can answer this riddle, I will give you presents, but if you can't, you will have to pay me." This was the riddle. Out of the eater there came meat, and out of the strong there came forth sweetness. Turn. None of the young men could answer the riddle. They said secretly to Samson's bride, "You must find out the answer and tell us. If you don't, we will burn you and your father's house." The bride said to Samson, "You don't love me, or you'd have told me about this riddle that you've asked of my people." Samson said, "I haven't even told my father and mother." But his bride would not let him rest. She went on begging for the answer. At last Samson told her, and she told the young men. The young men said to Samson, "We can answer your riddle. What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" Samson was very angry. He said, "My bride has told you the answer." Then he left his bride in Timnath and went back to his own father's house. Turn. After a time, Samson went back to Timnath for his bride, but her father said, "You went away and left her. Now I've given her as a wife to someone else." This made Samson so angry that he set fire to the Philistines' fields and to their vines and olive trees. And the Philistines came to Judea for their revenge. The Israelites said to Samson, "Why did you set fire to their fields when you know that they rule over us?" Samson said, "All I did was to pay them back for what they'd done to me. Don't kill me." Turn. The Israelites did not kill him, but they bound him and handed him over to the Philistines. Samson was so strong that without difficulty he broke the ropes that bound him, as if they were only burned threads. Then he picked up the jawbone of an ass and killed a great number of his enemies. Turn. After this, Samson fell in love with another woman who was also a Philistine, called Delilah. The Philistine lord said to Delilah, "When you are married to Samson, find out the secret of his great strength, so that we may overcome him. If you do this, each one of us will give you 1,100 pieces of silver." Delilah asked Samson, "Please tell me what makes you so strong." And Samson said, "If I were bound with 7 great reeds, I should lose all my strength." When he was asleep, Delilah bound Samson with 7 fresh green reeds, and she called out, "The Philistines are upon you, Samson." Samson woke and broke the reeds as if they had been threads. Turn. Delilah asked Samson again, "What makes you so strong?" Samson said, I shouldn't be strong if I were bound with new ropes that had never been used. When Samson was asleep, Delilah again bound him with new ropes, but Samson broke these too. The third time Delilah bound Samson's hair in a web and tied the web to a beam of wood, but when he woke, Samson broke the web and the beam. Turn. At last Delilah said, if you really love me, you wouldn't lie to me. Tell me the true secret of your strength. Samson said, my strength lies in my vows to God. My hair has never been cut, nor my beard shaved to show this. That night, when Samson was asleep, Delilah sent for a man to come and shave Samson's head. Turn. When Samson woke, he found that his strength had left him. The Philistine lords took him prisoner. They took him to Gaza, where they put out his eyes. They bound him with chains of brass and threw him into prison. But his hair began to grow again. Turn. Now the Philistines' lords held a great feast to celebrate their victory over Samson. When they had eaten and drunk, they sent for Samson. The boy led the blind Samson into the great hall and put him between the pillars which held up the roof. Samson said to the boy, let me feel the pillars which hold up the roof of this great building. Turn. When his hands were on the pillars, Samson prayed to God, give me back my strength, Lord, so that I may be revenged on my enemies. God heard his prayer and gave him strength. Samson put his hands on the pillars and bowed himself down and pushed with all his might. The pillars broke and the roof fell in and killed him and all the people there. So in his death, Samson conquered the Philistines. Now you can look there on the map and see Timnath. That was where this all happened. Okay,